Okay, there we go. Just want to make sure that this is actually showing up, that it's actually streaming. I'm going to check. Okay, 1 second. Where the heck did I put my phone? Okay. Okay, one more thing. I just want to make sure that we are good here. How dare you? So I'm hoping that you can see what's on my screen or no? Brandon, let me know if you can see what's on my stream. I can't actually tell from my end. Oh, okay, yeah, now I can see it. Brandon, let me know if you can see what's on my screen. Okay, yeah. I'll actually be live later, but for right now, I wanted to test this out. I am trying to learn Goku Black. So if okay, cool. Yeah, this, I don't know if you would be interested in this game. I mainly wanted to do this stream because I am terrible at it right now. And I wanted to try and really learn how to play this game. I play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! For anybody else that's watching, I play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've gotten to Masters multiple times in Yu-Gi-Oh! Using some rogue decks and also using, things like Flu Wanderees. So judge me if you want to. But I wanted to take some time to learn how to play this game. I've been excited for this ever since they first announced it. And I've been playing around. As you can see, I started playing the day that the beta came, or the day after the beta came out, because they delayed it and had their own issues. But I decided to start trying out some different decks. I got green, yellow, and blue for the starters. I probably should have gone red because after playing this for a while, I realized that I'm not exactly smart enough yet to be playing a blue deck. It's a lot more control-y. It's very good from what I can tell at keeping your opponent off of things early game. But unfortunately, when it comes to the late game, I've been having some issues making it actually work. So right now, this is the Vegeta starter deck that I have access to. Um, as you can see, I've got all these cards here in the deck. I'm probably going to be playing with this one only because I started off playing with the Goku Black deck, and I think I took some things out of the deck that give it some more consistency. So I want to play with the Vegeta deck, see what I can do with the Vegeta deck online. I've seen some people have success with it. I think that I have just been playing it wrong. And hopefully what will happen is I'll make this video, I'll watch, some of you guys will watch it, or people will come in and watch the stream and give me some pointers on how the game works. Maybe you'll watch the stream after it's up and give me some pointers on how the deck can be played a little bit better. Brandon, if you stick around, I know this is probably not your kind of game, but if you stick around, maybe you'll see something that I'm doing that's pretty stupid. But I want to just hop straight into it. I've seen a lot of people make content on this game, but not a lot of it that shows, for example, a deck list. So you saw my deck list. If you think that there's something that needs to be improved in the deck list, please feel free to let me know. Obviously, right now, we don't have access to buy cards or craft cards in the beta. But hopefully, when the full game comes out, we'll be able to craft. There is a creation system. And so hopefully I'll be able to build a better deck. I'm also hoping that they get to some of the things that are already in the Masters game a little bit quickly, just because, the game's been out for a while already. It would suck to not be able to play some of the main characters. I was very excited for the Cell deck, and the fact that it's not here is just a problem. I should have stuck with that original hand. Broly is actually one of the characters that I've had the most trouble dealing with. He's actually nowhere near as bad as he was in the original Masters beta, but he's still kind of tough to deal with for me, only because I can keep him off of things early game, and then late game, I struggle to actually get rid of him. So for now, I don't think I have any solid plays. I want to hold on to this extra energy, and I don't want to reveal necessarily what's in my hand, especially since Goten is just a vanilla that does nothing. I'd rather hold him in my hand so my opponent doesn't know what I have. And if anybody chimes in and the music is too quiet or my audio is too loud, just let me know. I do have the controls up. I can change that at any time. And again, I can actually afford to take this hit here. There's no reason for me to block this. For anybody who's watching this and has no idea what's actually going on, the way this game works is your opponent can attack at any point in time. So if you're used to Yu-Gi-Oh, you know there's a battle phase and everybody has to attack, or Magic the Gathering, there's a battle phase and you have to choose everyone to attack. In Dragon Ball Super, you can actually attack with any character and your leader at any time. So, for example, right there, you saw my opponent attacked with their leader card, which is the Broly over here. And then after that, he played. I am used to dealing with from Yu-Gi-Oh! And it creates an interesting dynamic where you're not exactly sure what your opponent has available to them until after they play a card. So here, because of the fact that we're still high on life, it's very early in the game, and this is going to allow me to get my awakening. Again, I'm just going to let him hit me. This is Dragon Ball Super, the card game. You play Magic the Gathering, Brandon? Let's see. Right now, I think I'm going to charge this Goku. Again, I can't play it. Actually, I probably should have charged Piccolo because I can't use that either. And it doesn't do anything right now. I could toss these back on the bottom of his deck, but I don't think that's going to be very useful at the moment. Instead, I think I'm going to play the Majin Buu just to get some power on the board. And then we can attack. We can attack into this, and we can also... I guess we're feeling out whether or not he's going to use his blocker. I actually really like Magic the Gathering too. So I originally, when I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And got back into card games, I liked Magic the Gathering, but it didn't have any characters that really grabbed my attention. So I didn't play it as often. And then a couple months ago, I got back into it and started playing it pretty heavily, actually. And I realized that instead of getting locked into characters, you really get locked into colors in Magic. So I got into the blue and the black deck, and I had a really good time playing it. The only thing is, I just, I still hop onto it every once in a while. But again, there's no real characters that I got attached to, and the game can be a little bit slow. So if you're trying to learn to get good at it, it takes a decent amount of time before you actually develop some of the card knowledge that you need. So with Fusion World, I like it because it's kind of between the speed of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering. You have the same mana system in this game, but you also can gain card advantage really fast. And it also has characters that I know. So like, Piccolo, Vegeta, Gogeta, I can recognize and relate to these characters. And it makes me more excited to play it. And again, just the faster pace of the game. It usually is only 4 or 5 turns per match. So I like this game a lot. And I think that it's a good middle ground. Whoops, forgot to end my turn. Between Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! Just because Yu-Gi-Oh!'s problem, in my opinion, I love the game, but you can just vomit your entire hand onto the board turn 1. And as fun as that can be when you're playing it, if you're going against it and your opponent's taking 10 minutes per turn, it's not 10 minutes per turn, but if your opponent's taking like 3 to 5 minutes per turn just to set up their board, I feel like that sometimes isn't as fun to deal with. And so this game, usually the turns are pretty quick unless somebody's not familiar with your deck and is reading the cards. To be fully honest, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do here. I've got a lot of options in my hand, but I just don't feel like I have anything good. I should have kept my original hand. It would have been a lot better. Oh, that's a good card, though. actually glad he let me. Draw that. The problem with Broly, so now he's at 4 energy, and we're going to run into the situation where he's just going to be able to do so much from his hand. Let's see. So we've got 4. I'm going to play Trunks so I can draw a card. And that's actually huge. So now I can attack with Vegeta so that I can also draw a card. I also don't want him to be too far ahead in advantage. So I'll go ahead and attack here. I drew another one of these. That's not great. And I don't want to give him too much more information, so I'm just going to try to feel him out, see if I can waste some of the cards in his hand. And he let it happen because he's a bit ahead in life. That's fine. At this point, I could play something, but again, I don't want to reveal what's in my hand. The thing that I struggle with in this game, by the way, is figuring out whether I want to have cards on the board so that I can, you know, have resources later and not have to spend a bunch of cards to have something in my hand, or if it's better for me to hold it in my hand and use it for combo power. So the way this game works, instead of you attacking and just the number on the card being the power that the card has, you see Majin Buu has 20,000, but if you look at Goten or Gotenks, on the side of here, it says plus 10,000. So you can actually do what's called a combo, where when you attack with one, actually I'll show you right here. So this is probably not optimal, but I'm going to do it anyway just to preserve my life a little bit. So now we're in the defense step, and during the attack or the defense step, you can do this, or the offense or defense step, you can do this, which is you can do what's called comboing from your hand. So if you drag this over here and combo, now this 10,000 from Gotenks gets applied to Vegeta, and so my attack power is better. In this game, there's attack advantage. So he's attacking with 15,000. If I let him attack with 15,000 and only have 15,000 attack myself, he will win and I'll take damage. So in this case, because my combo power goes up to 25,000, I no longer have to worry about that damage and I get a guard. The problem with this deck, and this is the problem that I've run to every single time I play Broly, I just don't have an out for this card. Unfortunately, this has critical. So because critical is on this card, it means that if you go to keywords here, when this card inflicts damage with an attack, the life is placed in the drop. So normally when you get attacked, your life is made up of a pile of cards. If you get attacked normally, you get to draw one of those cards. If you get attacked and somebody has critical, that card goes straight to the grave and you don't get to use it. You really don't want to have to be in that situation. So now I'm going to combo with Videl, and Videl is what we call a super combo card. And if you read her effect, it says when you use this card in a combo, this card gets a plus 10,000 combo power. So she already has 10,000. On top of that, I'm also going to be adding another 10,000 for a total of 20,000. So now my attack power is 35,000 and I can guard this attack. Oops. Lost my chat window for a second there. 1 second. There we go. And now it's my turn. I'm going to charge with this because I don't need 2 of these. And again, my hand is just not that great. Unfortunately, like I said, I can't really do much against this card. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 1 or less. Place it on the bottom of the owner's deck. This allows me to put something on the bottom of the deck as well, but it's only up to 4. And so here I run into the problem that I could play Vegeta here, but I get no value from it. I can play this one, and that will actually allow me to put his blocker back in the deck. Broly has a Paragus, I think it is, that when he plays it, you can actually get rid of or bring a blocker back from the graveyard. So if I do this right now, I'm actually going to attack into Broly and get rid of this before he has a chance to activate the blocker. And now that it's the offense step, I think I am actually going to hold, just because he's probably not going to block this anyway. Yeah, that's about what I thought. He's ahead in advantage. There's no reason why he should block that. And unfortunately, that's the Vegeta that doesn't have double strike, so the most I can do right now is probably in my turn. I could attack again. The thing is, Broly sort of wants to awaken because he gets way more powerful, and I don't have anything to deal with that power level yet, so I'm going to hold on to it. Main reason I wanted to play this on the channel, I have some ideas to maybe collab with some other creators in the Dragon Ball Super space, and I would like to see how this works on the channel if anybody's interested in watching it. I'm going to have an actual official video for this game coming out here in a little bit, but I figured I'd hop on here, stream for maybe an hour or so, and just get a feel for what the interest is like on the channel, or if maybe it attracts some new people to the channel. I know that there's a lot of Dragon Ball Super content that's going to be coming out over the next few days. One of the things that I want to make sure that I do is create quality content on my channel, not just do the same thing that everybody else is doing. So I do have some other ideas, like I said, going forward. But for now, just wanted to, again, hop on, hang out with chat, see how this goes. The reason why I just used that to get Trunks destroyed, I probably should have waited a little bit, but playing that way allows me to get that Trunks in the graveyard, and I can actually get him back a little bit later. And now we run into a significant problem because I can block this right now, but he's probably also not going to put a whole lot into this. So what I think I'm going to do is not block this. It's going to allow me to awaken, and I can draw off my awakening. So I don't get this card. Like I said, if you get hit by a critical character, it goes straight to the graveyard. But because it went to the graveyard, now I'm at 4 life. And when Vegeta hits 4 life, he can activate his awakening, which allows me to gain power. So actually, you'll see it right now. He's not going to go in on this. So I'm going to flip, activate my skill, awaken Vegeta, and he goes Super Saiyan. You also draw a card, like I said. And this is actually really good. So we drew a blocker, which we're going to be able to activate next turn. Right now, our attack is 20,000. Gohan's at 35,000, but he doesn't really have any plays outside of attacking us, and we get to draw off of this. So I'm not going to block this. And also, you'll see that his effect gave Broly 1 more life. That's actually kind of good for us, because him putting 1 more life in means he's further away from his awakening. Now, the problem we're going to run into, he's got 7 energy. He's massively ahead right now, just from the ramping that Broly has access to. So that's going to be an issue, but for right now, I think taking this attack is okay. And we get Majin Buu, which we can use next turn. We can also charge this Goten now. And we drew Trunks. So, actually, I think what I may want to do instead, since I don't have any Gotens... Oh, I do have a Goten. Okay, I'm going to charge Goten then. So the reason I want Goten and Trunks in the graveyard is because I can get them back with Gotenks later. I don't have any spells in there, unfortunately. And again, 6-5, there's nothing that I have in my hand that can do anything to these guys. What I could do is attack to draw, and maybe I will do that. So I'll activate my skill during the main phase, which allows me to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 cards in my hand. It allows me to gain 15,000 attack, which puts me at 35. And then, because I am at 35, I am now willing to play this Trunks, get him on the field so I can draw a card. And this is great. So now I have this skill in my hand, which is going to make it a little bit easier to deal with this Bardock or Turles on the field. So I'm actually going to attack directly into this. And now during the offense step, I am going to, this is not the final flash, or the Gallic Gun, this is the final flash. I am an idiot. Okay, well, in that case, I'm just going to have to charge this with what I have in my hand, or on the field, actually. I'll attack it with this. And I can use Majin Buu since he's not going to do anything on the field right now. I can also burn a couple more of these cards just because, once again, I really want to get rid of this. He's probably got a lot of resources in his hand that he can use to stop me from killing him. But I figure we might as well at least try. If nothing else, we'll get a lot of cards out of his hand and we'll be in a slight advantage. And he actually let me kill it, which is very worrisome because that probably means he just has another one in his hand. I'm actually very bothered by the fact that that just happened. And I think I'm going to leave this up because, like in Magic the Gathering, if you attack with a card, it makes it so that the card is vulnerable on the next turn. And I don't want that card to be vulnerable. This doesn't, again, do anything for me. It just reduces the card cost that we can pay, but we discard, and it's 5 or less. So, oh, wait, is Turles a 5 and I'm just dumb? Turles is a 5 and I'm just dumb. In that case, I'm going to play this. I will not add a life to my hand, but I will also play Bulma so that I can have a blocker on the board for next turn. And because I can, and because I don't want him to be too far ahead in advantage, I'm going to attack into his Broly with Trunks. Trunks can die, it's not that big of a deal. I can always get him back, like I said. And he let that happen because he wants cards. This guy is actually really annoying. He's very passive. Let's see, can I... I am not going to activate a blocker. Like I said, I'm okay if Trunks dies. Oh, and I'm gonna let this end. Sorry, I was looking at looking at the chat. Here, I'm actually gonna hold this. I think he's trying to bait me, and I don't want to fall for it, so I'm not gonna use my blocker. I think he has another Bardock or another Turles in his hand. So instead, I'm actually gonna hold my super combo as well. The only life that really matters is the last life, and since we're nowhere near that last life, I'm willing to take this hit. Gohan doesn't do anything, and this lets us draw a card, so I think it's fine. That is not what I thought he was going to summon. That's really bad. Oh, that's so unfortunate. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that he was at 8 energy. That's terrible. He may decide to go all in on this, or at least go in a little bit. No, he didn't. Okay. This guy is playing super passive, and it's not even mattering because of the fact that his hand is just insane. I can do this. It's going to put me at 20. That sucks. So hopefully if somebody sees this stream later on just watching it and wants to comment about what I did wrong and how I could have played this hand better, I am all open to hearing criticisms and feedback because I have no idea what I could have done in this situation. To me, it just kind of feels like Broly is a little too strong for me to deal with. And I've heard people say that, and he gets to attack twice, so... I've heard people say that Broly is free in this matchup. Maybe my deck is just not containing some of the cards that people say makes it free, but it feels like a really rough matchup. The later you get into the game and the more energy Broly gets, it becomes a game where there's literally nothing you can do. This is a fantastic card. Does nothing to Broly. 4 cards or less, or cost of 4 or less. So I can't activate this to do anything to Broly. I can just choose 2 cards, but there's no cards here. So you can activate it, but it's actually an illegal activation. Same thing here. There's nothing I can do in this matchup. So I'm actually just gonna retire here. I don't think that there's any way that I can make a comeback here. I could attack with Vegeta and see what cards I draw, but I just don't think there's anything in my deck that can deal with that. 45,000 is so much, and when he's got 6 cards in his hand, it just feels like there's not much that I can do. As you can see, I'm hard stuck bronze. I've been thinking about switching to a different color and trying something else out, but for now, it just seems like I should stick with one color and really learn how that color works. One thing I was going to change about this deck, though, so right now, as you can see, I've got a lot of cards in here, but I don't have a lot of powerful cards. So 20,000, 30,000, 35,000 is my highest one. Initially, I had taken out some of the more powerful battle cards, like Goku, which is 30,000 for 4. And I'm thinking I may add something like that back in. I just am not sure what, because again, it's 30,000 for 4, but Goku Black is also 30,000 for 4 and has a lot more synergy with the deck. So I haven't been really quite sure what I want to throw into this deck when it comes to making it more powerful. What I am going to do is maybe take out one of these Trunkses, because drawing Trunks is great early on, but he always puts himself back in the deck, and it's not necessarily the best feature. I'm also concerned about whether or not I need Gowasu. As you can see, the other issue is that with my Goku Black deck, I don't have a lot of the cards that I would need. So I have one of each of these Zamasus, and it would actually be way better if I had more. It's just, you know, as it stands, it's not exactly easy to come across gems that would allow me to get those. I may come down on, say, like a Trunks. Piccolo's really useful because it gives me an extra copy of any of these spells. But actually, maybe what I want to get rid of is this, because I don't think I need to see it that often, and it's been in my hand quite a lot, so I'm going to get rid of that one. It allows Goku Black to attack twice effectively. And we'll switch this so that I'm not false advertising. I'll actually play the Goku Black deck. The other thing I could possibly do is try to play in free play, but what I found is that you get way more matches in ranked than you do in free play. And some of these guys are already, look, this guy's at bronze 1. Some of these guys are already at God rank. I have no idea how people have gotten to God rank already, unless they just knew exactly what pack they wanted and then spent the rest of their gems on the booster packs. Because as far as I can tell, it is impossible to get that many cards that you want. If it was up to me, I'd play Ginyu, but sadly I did not pull. Was actually watching a guy pull the other day, and he pulled like every Ginyu card possible, and then immediately said he's not playing Ginyu. So I was a little jealous. Here, I think I must have hit the wrong button. I really wish that they would change it to put keep on the right and change on the left, because I get confused and hit the wrong button all the time. So now I'm in a situation where I dropped the wrong card and this guy just quit. It's just that easy. You play Goku Black and you instantly win, I tell you. All right, and like that, we are now bronze 3. No idea why that guy left the game. He definitely probably had better plays than I did. All right, let's see. This is actually a pretty good hand. We have the Piccolo that we can charge. I think I'm going to keep this one. And again, feel free to leave feedback. If you think that this is a hand that was terrible and that I should not have kept because I can only summon one of the cards if I'm not going second, feel free to let me know. Although I am going second, so I can summon anything that I want. Anything useful that I want. What I've been doing recently is trying to hold on to this extra energy. I feel like you never know when you're going to need it. So it's better to just play as if you don't have it. I could be wrong in doing that. Especially playing a blue deck, it seems like you want to get a lot of your advantage up front. But for now, actually, I think no, it's better to get the card advantage. I'm going to play and charge Piccolo. Now I could do this and choose one of his cards with 3 or less to send it back to the hand. The problem is with a blocker, you kind of don't want it to go back to the hand. I would rather have the card that sends it to his deck. So I'm going to leave it there for now and hopefully draw something useful. That is fantastic. It's the wrong Zamasu. So if I had 4 of the Zamasu that sends things back to deck, there's a much higher chance that it would have been that card. But unfortunately, it's looking like that's not a possibility. I think just so that I don't let Broly get too far ahead this time, I am going to attack him right now and send one of his cards to the drop. Or at least get one of the cards out of his hand. Because right now we have an opportunity to take the card advantage. I figured he'd do that. He's just going to block it, and I'm going to let this resolve. He's willing to use it that early because I know this feels like it's not that big of a deal, but he's willing to use it early because Goku Black has critical. So again, I attack him, his card goes to the drop, but he's also willing to do it because of the fact that in this deck, he has a card that allows him to attack and then add this blocker back to his board. So he can just keep cycling it endlessly unless I get it back in his deck. And there's also always the chance that he has more than one blocker in his hand. I'm pretty sure that you play that card at 4, so it's a very high likelihood that he's got another one. He's going to attack me, and I'm going to let it happen. I have no reason to stop this. Other than maybe to put Trunks in the graveyard, but I just feel like it's kind of a waste at this point. He probably shouldn't be attacking me just yet. Well, actually, I take that back. Broly is a character, or sorry, Goku Black is a character that you almost don't want to get to your awakening state very quickly because with the critical, you can drop cards from your, I knew he was going to do this. With the critical, you can drop cards from your opponent's from your opponent's life into the drop. But if you have to go into your awakening so that you can protect yourself from dying, you actually lose that critical effect. So it's better actually if you hold on to Goku Black in his base form as long as you can. At least as far as I understand it. So like I said, he can attack with Paragus and just bring back his blocker. It's really annoying. So I'm going to block this one and let it ride. And then hopefully this next draw will be the Zamasu that gives me the ability to put that card back, or one of the cards that allows me to put that back. It's not. But we did get this one, which is the wrong Goasu. I just can't draw the right card. I am going to throw this one away. I actually think this Goasu is completely useless. Being able to do something on KO is great, but usually when your card is as weak as this Goasu is, he's only got 15,000 attack. You're not going to be able to attack over much with that. You're not going to want to combo with it. And then on top of that, your opponent's not going to attack it when it's weak because they see that it has the KO effect. There's just no point to really have that card in your hand. I'm going to see if I can draw something else. Now, this is a card that would let me send it back, but unfortunately, it doesn't do me any good right now because I can't play it. It's also not going to get as much value here. So I think what I'm going to do is just, again, attack directly into here. He's going to hit it with his blocker so that I don't drop his cards from his life. And we're going to keep this cycle going. I suppose I could have attacked into his Paragus, but he would have just blocked it anyway, so it doesn't actually matter. It's more important for me to threaten his Broly, because Paragus, once again, is a card that they usually run at 4, so he's going to have another copy in his hand. You can almost guarantee that. The better thing for me to do would be actually to save this card that's in my hand for the next turn, and then use it to send his cards back to the deck, including the Paragus. But again, we'll see. I love this Vegeta card because it lets me send a card with 4 or less attack, 4 or less power back to the deck. What do we do here? He's just going to do that. I think I'm going to hold off on blocking this one. Well, I want this Trunks in the grave, but I already have one there. Why not? I'll keep myself healthy for now. One thing I'm trying to get better at in this game is managing my resources. I feel like it's something that I don't do as well as I would like to. But been watching some videos from Espira TCG, just trying to get a feel for what's necessary to do in this game. So, like I said, as usual, just give me advice if you have any, because I'm not above admitting that I suck. The thing is, the card games are kind of like Tekken in that you play a lot and you lose a lot, but in losing, you kind of learn what these decks do and how they play out, and then by learning what they're trying to accomplish, that's sort of how you get to a position where you can take advantage. He's going to bring back this blocker again. But that's where you get to a position where you can take advantage of their game plan and use it against them. It's just that right now I kind of feel like my deck is not strong enough to use it against them, if that makes sense. And so I end up losing a lot of games just because I simply don't have an out to whatever my opponent's trying to accomplish. Here, though, this is a really good card to draw. So what I think I'm going to do is charge this Piccolo. I need to get my ratios together so that I know that I have another one of this card, for example. Fairly certain that I have at least 2 of them, but I'm not 100% positive. So because I'm not sure, I don't want to waste it. But from here, what I'm actually going to do... Yeah, actually before I attack, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to choose 2 cards, pay, and now I'm going to put back this blocker and I'm going to put back Paragus so that he can't keep this looping anymore. And that'll slow him down a little bit when it comes to just piling on and stalling me out so that he can grab energy. I'm also going to attack his Broly right now. I'll put my blocker down, but I'm going to put the blocker down after I attack, once again, just so that I don't give him free information. And then on my next turn, when I have a little bit more energy, what I can do is play Piccolo, and I'll get back that spell that knocked... sorry, they're called extras in this game. But I'll get back the card that allowed me to get rid of his 2 monsters. But I'll summon this, put it on the field. There's part of me that wants to hold on putting the blocker down. He doesn't have anything on his board at the moment that's really a threat to me. So it might have been better to keep this in my hand until he summons something that's a threat. But what I found recently is that every time I try to do that, they end up playing something that requires me to use the Bulma to block or to combo instead of being able to put it down to block. And as far as I know, I don't think that Broly has that many cards that allow him to just get rid of something until he gets to about 7 energy. So we're probably fine right here. I'm not going to block. I'm also not going to combo because I want these cards that are in my hand. And now we have the card that I was looking forward to. So the next time he summons a blocker, I can just play Zamasu and get rid of it. And then now that I'm here, once I get to my awakening... Okay, he's adding more energy to his hand. How much does that cost, by the way? That costs 3. 3 green specifically. Okay. So this is going to allow him to reveal a Paragus, add it to the hand if he has it. I don't actually know if this game reveals whether or not they add to their hand. Or what they add to their hand. Which one is this? Because I have Goku Black and Zamasu in my hand, I don't think I need this card. So I'm going to go ahead and... Actually, no. I'm going to charge... No, I'm going to charge Gowasu. I don't think I have enough Zamasu and Goku Blacks in this deck to really make it worthwhile. So it's better to just not use that. I'm also going to save this. These cards are ones that you don't want to actually put back because he can keep milling his deck and adding cards to hand that are going to benefit him. So you really don't want that to happen. I've got 4 power, so I have an option here. I can either play with Trunks and allow him to be on the board with 2,500 power or 25,000 power, or I can play this Piccolo, which allows me to get that card back to my hand. I'm going to choose to get the card back to my hand. So this is what I mean. I don't know if it reveals to him what I just grabbed or if he is just kind of guessing right now. But for now, I'm going to just attack into Broly, see what we can draw. If I draw another Trunks or something that can benefit me in the long run, that'd be great, but I kind of doubt it. And I'll just keep it basic. I don't need to get rid of anything in my hand right now. And he's actually just going to take that because he's at 6 power, or 6 energy, which means that the next turn he can just go straight into his awakening. I could attack him now and he would want to awaken. I may do that just so that I can bait him into attacking into this Piccolo. Although if Piccolo's rested, I don't think I can use him to combo. I may do it anyway. The one thing I feel like I've been doing too much with Broly is playing a little too passively and allowing him to have too much life for too long. I'd rather be in the driver's seat. So hopefully I can get him to use some cards to block this. But if not, it'll put me in the lead. He will gain some advantage because now that he's awakened, he can take a card and put it into his energy, which will allow him to summon some of his bigger monsters. But I'm not too worried about that right now just because, again, he doesn't have Paragus. He can't cycle an infinite loop. So as long as I can get something like this Vegeta on the board with a lot of combo power, I can get rid of whatever he puts down, I think. And I initially started this stream thinking that I was going to play for an hour, but I've only gotten in like 3 games. The one thing that's interesting about this compared to Yu-Gi-Oh! If you play any Yu-Gi-Oh! Most games end on like turn 3 at the earliest. So you play in an hour, you might get, 5, 7, 8 matches depending on what you're going up against. Unless it's a stun deck, in which case it drags it out. The one thing I am deeply concerned about here is that now with 8 energy, he'll be able to summon a Teen Gohan. But I see that he's got one up here in his energy. So I'm hoping, again, fingers crossed, hoping that he doesn't draw his other one. Most people probably only run this at 2 since it's a 6-drop card. And that'll keep his life lower than mine. There goes this guy. He's annoying. And unfortunately, I don't think I have anything that can get rid of him other than just an attack. So I'm probably going to just block this. Especially since he's only got 3 energy anyway. There's no way that he can get up to anything. Oh, here goes Paragus. Okay. I was going to say there's no way that he can get up to anything that's that useful. But that was not the case. As long as he doesn't have a blocker, though, we should actually be fine. Because we can put this Paragus back. I'm not going to block this. I'm also probably not going to combo block it either. Yeah, I'm not gonna combo here. I still have the life lead, so I'm not that worried. And this is fantastic because I can drop this into the energy. Or I could summon it. Vegeta's got double strike, so I could hold one in the hand and then summon another one. The problem with this card, it's fantastic. It does not combo for anything. So putting it on the board is a huge risk, and you almost don't want to do it unless you know you're closing out the game. At least that's, again, the way that I see it. So he gains power here. He could punch into me. I am also going to let this hit and see if we can pull a Videl. I'm definitely not going to block it. But a Videl or a Gallic Gun here would be really huge. He's at 30. I could go 10, 15, that puts me at 30, but then I have to burn something else in order to make it work. Yeah, I don't really feel like that's worth it. So I'm going to let this hit. We'll be tied on life. And that's not that big of a deal. And that's huge. We just got Gotenks. So what we can actually do next turn, or on this next attack, if he attacks with something else, I'm going to block this. But if he attacks with something else, we can actually use this Trunks, and then we can just play Gotenks to get Trunks back. That's huge. I'm not going to worry about this. Again, I'm hoping that we can draw into a Videl for the super combo. Gives us a little bit more protection on the enemy's turn. I'm also kind of hoping that at some point we pull more of the... I am going to charge this one. I'm hoping that at some point we pull more of the blue super combos, because Videl is great, but she only works on the opponent's turn. I don't think this has any value whatsoever. I probably should charge this next time because it's not doing anything on the field aside from I can put Paragus back, but I don't think that's really worth it. Let's see. Let me think this through. If I play Trunks, he gets 25. But he doesn't really do anything aside from add to life. I don't know if there's a reason for me to not transform at this point. Because the back of the card gives me... It puts me at a default 20,000. It also lets me draw a card. See, but I don't gain that much other than being able to play a Goku Black for cheaper. And I don't see why I would want to do that just yet. I could put this back on the field. No. I think it's okay to not do that and then to just go ahead and maybe play Trunks. Or even Vegeta. Let's play Vegeta. Yeah. The only problem with this is that it reveals to him that I don't have anything else to block this, but that's okay. I'm going to send Paragus back to his deck on play, and then I'm going to attack into his Turles, and I'm going to combo with Trunks and Piccolo. And I'm also going to combo with this blank Zamasu just to see if we can get rid of this, because this Turles is a huge problem for this deck. I maybe should have attacked or gone into my Awakening and attacked first so that I could draw a card. But part of me doesn't feel like it's worth it to get rid of my critical passive right now, especially since it doesn't change my attack power at all. And this is a great way to burn some of his resources. So he has to get rid of either both of these cards plus one card in his hand, or he has to get rid of a couple cards in his hand. And he doesn't get a draw from this because we're not attacking Broly. Unfortunately, he had a King Vegeta, which functions as a super combo. And he had two King Vegetas, so he was just able to burn those. But now we know that he doesn't have those, and he can't use them on another turn. So we're actually okay with that. And then I am going to, like I said, attack into his Broly. Maybe I won't actually. I think it's okay to not attack here. We don't really need to attack, and we also have the advantage that we can play another Vegeta next turn. So I'm going to end my turn here. What I think I'm going to do, though, is on this turn, as soon as I get the opportunity, I am going to use my Awakening just so that we can draw a card. And with 31 cards left, there's a really good chance that we draw into Videl. I am running 4 of it, so I'm hoping that we can pull that on this next draw. And that's what we've been waiting for this entire time. So now we can get rid of this blocker and throw it back on the bottom of the deck. And we know that he probably doesn't have another one, because if he did have another one, he would have played it before now. Especially seeing as how Paragus was already on the board. I'm actually going to bring the background music up a little bit for myself. Okay, I'm going to let Broly hit me. I don't see any reason to stop this. This is one of the reasons I love this game. These animations are so cool, dude. There's so much production that goes into this. That is amazing. That Trunks is a great card to draw. Alright, now he's attacking here. He only went up to 40,000. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip and awaken. This puts me up to 20,000. That is amazing. I knew we'd draw it. I knew we would draw it. I told you guys. You just got to believe in the heart of the cards. All right. So we activate this. He's at 40,000. So this is what I was referring to before. He's at 35. If I only went up to 35, he would hit me. But because I'm above it at 40, we're going to get a guard here. That Videl came right on time, dude. That's really nice. Okay. So I have a couple of different options here. If I want to get greedy, I could play both Zamasu and Vegeta, but Vegeta doesn't really do anything. He's got 7 energy, so I'm going to wait and see what he does here. And here goes a problem. I don't have any blues that cost more than 5. So unfortunately, one, it's a good thing because it means that when I get to 6 energy, there's not really much reason for me to keep throwing energy into my charge. Sorry, there's no reason for me to keep charging. That's fantastic. But the problem with it is there are a lot of cards in other decks that can get rid of things that are 5 and below. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any of those cards in my blue deck, at least not yet. So it's not something I have access to. What I think I'm going to do, like I said, is charge this. There's no reason for me to keep that. He's not going to play anything that costs 2 or less, or even 3 or less. And then what I can do now is play this patiently. I can summon this Zamasu if the game will let me play it. All right. I can play this Zamasu, get rid of this stupid blocker because he's annoying. And I actually think what I want to do here is play my Vegeta instead of playing this Gotenks. Gotenks is going to be really useful a lot of the time to get Trunks back. Then again, no, because I can't play Trunks and another card. Let me think this through. Vegeta doesn't do anything here except for the fact that he has Double Strike, but Double Strike doesn't win the game. I think I'm going to go with Gotenks actually. Trunks will go for 30,000, but the problem with Trunks... Okay. What I could also do is this, because this draws a card too, and it's only 3 cost, and it'll be 2 cost. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to activate my skill, and that's going to let me send this Zamasu back to the deck, but it'll also let me play Goku Black for 1. This is why I love card games. Just the thought that goes into them and the way that you have to play around it. I just drew another one of these, which is fantastic in case he gets another blocker. And because I saved a lot of energy on that one, what I can do now is play Gotenks, which does get rid of my ability to play a spell, and it does let him know what I'm doing. But I can grab back this Trunks, which will give me another 25k beater. And then, unfortunately, I can't do much, but I think it's actually okay to not attack here. I think it's okay to not attack here. We don't want him to get any draws anyway, because we're way ahead in card advantage right now. So if we don't attack him, he's stuck with 4 cards here. Of course, he's going to draw when he attacks next time, but he's probably going to also have to combo in order to get any value. I'm going to hold my Videl until after he attacks with Turles. He's going to try to bait me out a bit, but I'm not going to fall for it. After all, in every card game, the only life point that matters is the last one. That is super annoying. Actually, this is the 6. This is just a vanilla. For a second, I thought that was the 8. That's great because that means he doesn't have the 8 in his hand. Otherwise, he would have activated one of his abilities to put an energy there. Actually, I think it's the other way around. I think he adds his energy to the drop, which he just did to draw a card. I'm probably going to play Broly at some point. He seems like a really interesting strategy. I avoided him at first because he was kind of broken in the last one, and I didn't want to be that guy. Let's see. I think this drew us a card. I don't know if there's any reason to activate that just yet. We need to get to 35 to do anything useful. So I'm going to sacrifice Gotenks. And I'm going to sacrifice... I think I'm going to sacrifice this Trunks. I probably should have just let this hit me because we'll be fine if it hits me. But I just don't want to put myself too low on life points before I know whether or not he's got something crazy that he can do next turn. Okay, this is the one we do want to block though. And he didn't actually do anything with it, so I can just use Videl. That's fantastic for us. This doesn't have double strike, so we should be okay. And this gives us 40, so we're fine. And if he swings again, I think I'm just going to let it hit me because it'll allow us to draw a card. And also it'll put his Broly in rest for next turn. And if I understand the rules of this game right, you can't use a rested card for a combo. So that could come in handy. Could. Yeah, like I said, I'm just going to let this one hit me. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Okay, no blockers either. Finally drew a Goten. That's helpful. This doesn't do anything for us, so I can just charge it. I probably didn't need to do that, but I do want to hold on to some energy just in case. What I could do now... This is a 30. This is 5. Is this the one that I need? This is a 30 as well. And this is a 30 that doesn't go away. So I could go 1, get rid of this. I really wish that this was 5 and less, man. So I could do this. After this, that would allow me to summon it for its 2 less, right? I don't know that I want to sack this just yet, though. Let's attack first, just to see what we can draw. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. That's amazing. Okay. So now we have 2 of these. I'm going to combo this with Trunks, because if we did attack with Trunks, he would just go away anyway. So we'll go ahead and just do this, see if we can burn some of his resources a little bit. Also, I just want to point out the fact that Turles is such a cracked card. Vegeta... Oh, this is sick. I've never actually seen this one yet. Oh, I have seen it. I saw it in the beta. That's right. But I want to point out the fact that... So, Vegeta, as you can see, is a 5-cost card. Double strike, on play, you can get rid of a card. This is Turles with... I guess he's got less attack points, but I just think it's crazy that you can use him to combo. He's such a strong card already. Being a critical with that much attack power is just insane to me. So this could be interesting because it turns into a blocker if I have Goku Black. I actually think this is a better play than what I was initially going to do. And I have 7 energy, so I can actually do this and this. Is there any reason to put this out? Maybe. Maybe. It'll give him reasons to... Maybe not. I think I'm going to hold. I think I'm going to hold. Yeah. I think we hold. I really don't want him drawing that much, although I could play Vegeta and then just go for the attack. He can't block it, right? Okay, I'm thinking that I might do this, and this is super risky. You probably should not do this, but because it's double strike, he didn't know that I had this Vegeta. But now that I've got double strike Vegeta, 35k, he can't block with these to my knowledge. So I should be able to combo this and this and this. That gets me up to 30,000. I really wish that this deck had a little bit more power in it. If he's got a super combo in his hand, we just kind of lose the game here, but I feel like I need to be more aggressive. And right now, we'll also find out whether or not you can use a combo or use a rested card for a combo. I'm pretty sure you can't. That's so unfortunate. Okay, is that plus 25,000? Oh, that's all he had. Maybe. No, it's not all he had. So we're at 75. That's him at 60. I don't think he can do it. I don't think he can overcome this. Yes! Let's go. We finally beat Broly. Nice. All I had to do is play a little bit more aggressive. Sometimes you see game, you just have to go for it. It was very risky because we didn't know what was in his hand, but I'm really glad that worked out. And that does confirm, so you cannot use a rested card for a combo. I didn't think you could, but I just, you know, every once in a while you get nervous and skittish about the rules. Anyway, I do think that that's a good place to end. I don't want this stream to go too long because I know sometimes you'll look and see a stream is so many hours and not be interested. I'll probably go back and add timestamps to this for anybody that comes along later, just so that you can skip to what it is that you want to see. But with that, I am going to sign off. I'll probably be playing this game a lot throughout the beta. They just extended the beta to go another day. So I'll be on, and if anybody's interested in checking it out with me or playing with me, you want to invite to a room, just hit me up. I'm down to play. I'm down to learn. I am very excited for the full release of this game, and I just thought, like I said, I'd hop on and learn how to play the game with you guys. So with no further ado, I am out of here. If you're interested in more Dragon Ball Super card game content, let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to like and subscribe if you want more of this kind of thing, because I am always open to hearing what my audience is interested in seeing, just to make sure that, you know, we're all enjoying this process of building a YouTube audience together. So with that, like I said, I am out of here, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.